Fall gardening is fun here in Louisiana. Let's plant some Brassica seedlings and do some more succession sowing. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to Louisiana Simple Living. This is Daryl. So you heard me talking about Hurricane Ida passed through this area. It went east of us somewhat, but still got just tons of rain, wind. Then we had a tropical storm and another rain event come by right after that. So I had sowed a lot of seeds, my brassicas, your cabbage, broccolis, and so forth. Whether they were just saturated or whatever the case, they didn't germinate except for one cabbage looks like that germinated. So I had to back up a little bit and go ahead and plant some brassica seeds in a tray. So I'm going to go ahead and plant those brassica seedlings, and I'm going to succession sow some additional seeds for things like beets, lettuce, and so forth. In addition, I got more garlic I need to go ahead and get in the ground. Join me as I continue building up my fall backyard garden. If you haven't subscribed as yet, please subscribe, like that video, feel free to share it. So within those trays I do have cabbage, 3 or 4 different kinds of cabbage, 3 or 4 different kinds of broccoli, actually 2 kinds of broccoli, 3 or 4 different kinds of Brussels sprouts, and 2 kinds of cauliflower. Alright, let's go ahead and quickly talk about how we need to plant them. So you want to go ahead and put them in, right lower than the depth of the very top of the soil block. You don't want to go way up on the stem like a tomato, but you want to go ahead and make sure you cover up the top of the soil block. And I will go ahead and plant them in different spots to kind of disperse them out throughout the garden. Yeah, there may be 3 or 4 of the same cabbage or whatever in the same place, but I'm trying to spread them out. And it actually, so hopefully it just confuses bugs a little bit more. What you don't want is to have all your cabbage in one place, if you can help it. Because when a moth comes in and lays its cabbage worm, we don't want to make it easy for her to go ahead and lay her eggs all over every single cabbage in that one place. Make it a little bit harder. So you got to go to 1 place, 2 places, 3 places, 4 places. You make it a little bit better luck from not having those cabbage worms and other pests. All right, and so your spacing, you want to make sure you're spaced wide enough apart, each plant from each other, to get optimum growth. So most of your brassicas, you want to go about 12 inches. You can go up to 18. 12 inches is a pretty good spacing between. Cauliflower needs about 18 inches and even up to 24 inches. So again, you're talking 12 to 18 inches apart, and you ought to be in really good shape. And also just a reminder, once you go ahead and get them planted in, you want to go ahead and water them in as soon as you can. We'll come back and water them a little bit better, and I'll actually add a little bit of low strength fertilizer, organic liquid fertilizer to it to kind of give them roots a good jump start. All right, so those brassicas that I sowed into the tray, I did that on September 26th, so we're just a little over 4 weeks old, and it's just time to go ahead and get them in the ground. All right, so let's go ahead. This is a calabash cabbage. We'll go ahead and get him planted. Make sure you get it kind of firmly tucked in there. You don't want any rain to come, or when I'm watering them, that it'll knock it over real easily. All right, so calabash cabbage. This is a pretty purple, full of antioxidants. All right, see, so you got 3. All right, so we'll go ahead and snip this one, and this one will stay in. All right, so that one plant will grow and be real healthy. And this is a golden acre going in here, cabbage. Trying to think, this one's starting to kind of color a little bit. All right. Let's see which one I want to keep. Yeah, I like this one better here. Clearly this one looks like it's kind of broke a little bit, so I'm going to cut him. There's 2 of them. Yep, this one's got to go. So that one right here is going to do well. And again, just make sure you water them in. All right, looks like a good place. I got a couple of slots here. I can put some cabbage, or the brassicas. I'm going to put a early Jersey Wakefield cabbage in here. All right, got him planted. Just need to water him in. All right, you have to take that watermelon in. Feels like he's ripe. Alright, so we can go a little Romanesco here. Remember, you need about 12 inches apart. This bed is really deep and rich, so I'm going to go ahead and put 3 across front to back. We'll save a space right here to put in some succession planting for some other vegetables. It just creates a gap between the like type of vegetables. Alright, I got a bunch more to plant. I'm going to go ahead and plant these. I'll do some succession seeding in just a second. Then I'll plant some garlic. Alright, I'm not totally through, but I've got some planted along here. That's going to do good for showing you how to plant them and what you got to do. Spacing and so forth. Now I'm going to let the water just kind of soak in a little bit. I'm got some other things I got to do. I'm going to come back and I'm going to give it a little bit of just some weak organic liquid fertilizer. Alright, going to go with some radishes right here. Not a whole bunch. We don't eat a ton of them. We eat them like they're potatoes. You kind of roast them. Let's see, I'll do some purple plum back right here. These are right next to my green wave mustard greens. Right next to my giant Japanese red mustard green. They will probably grow and be ready to mature before this cabbage gets too big. Radishes are done, cover them up. Alright, next up on our succession planting is beets. So I'm going to go 1 quick row of golden beets and 1 quick row of Detroit dark red. Let's do some of the Detroit dark reds. And I do love beets. I never did as a kid, but I love them now. They taste so much different than they did as a kid. These are so much better. All right, just kind of work it in. Make sure it's kind of level. All right, that's about good. The beets are done. All right, let's go with the Bloomsdale long standing in the back. I do have some Giant Noble that are going in the middle and some Merlot Nero that I have planted over there. I think Bloomsdale is the other one I had over there too. I'm planting about every 3 or 4 inches. They really need to be about 6 inches, maybe up to 8 inches apart. There's some Merlot Nero. All right, we'll cover them up now. All right, nothing more than that. All right, I'm gonna do some lettuce now. I'll do a little gem over here. This is like a thin cylindrical romaine. Butter King, Bronze Beauty, and then some arugula there. Let's just shake a little bit of these Butter King seeds in here. Okay, that'll be enough of that. All right, so we got our lettuce in. Let's go ahead and water them in. I'd like to use containers because, again, it's just kind of easier. You walk out the back door, you grab you some lettuce, you throw it in the salad. You got some romaine and some leaf lettuce, so you got options. All right, I'm gonna plant just a couple of kind of out in here, about 4 plants, 5 plants, 6 plants, just for succession planting for Georgia Southern collard greens. It's sitting right next to the celery, tall Utah celery, and you can see the celery coming up. We'll thin it out to where you get your best one. Let's go ahead and plant some Georgia Southern collard greens. Now, before we go ahead and sow those seeds for the collard greens, this is a set of Georgia Southern collard greens. It's really overshadowed. I had infestation of bugs at one time, got rid of them. They rebounded, but they're still kind of under the cover of this okra. And this is my second set of Georgia Southern collard greens. All right, so let's go sow the other seeds. We'll have a third generation. All right, so the cauliflower is about 12 to 18 inches apart, so I can get probably one. I may go one more there, so maybe like 4 sets, maybe up a little bit more. We'll get about 5 or 6 plants in. As usual, overseed. All there is to it. We'll just loosely cover them back up. Just kind of run your hands over them. All right, I got some elephant garlic I need to plant. You can do those 4 to 6 inches apart. Elephant garlic's pretty big. I usually do about 6 or so. So you just want to get them in the ground. The root, you've seen all my videos before, but the root goes down, the point goes up. This is like huge. This is one bulb. Or excuse me, this is one clove. Now we'll overwinter these, let them grow all through early spring. We'll check them. You want to look at the leaves, how many leaves are dried up or not. You know, a good thing about garlic, it keeps the vampires away, but it also, all kidding aside, it also keeps a lot of the bad bugs away. In some cases. All right, I got my last 2 elephant garlic to plant here. I mean, look at the size of this thing. Let's go in with him. Root down first, point up. Last one here. All right, we need to go ahead and water everything in and water it in well. Got one more patch I still got to plant for my garlic. I'll get that in a minute. The spinach here is doing good. Some more of the mustard greens, Georgia Southern collard greens right here. Those are some more collard greens back here. And that's the only cabbage that really survived the hurricane and tropical storm after it and all that. Pepper's still doing great though. You see it coming up, soft Italian, and there's some elephant here too. And then you got some kohlrabi underneath those pepper lip branch here. All right, this is the beets that we just planted. We'll fill them in. That's a brassica over there, along with, golly, I can't even remember what I planted. I think it was radishes over there. All right, we're watering some radishes over there. Got some Swiss chard, got some Japanese giant red mustard greens. Those are the beets that we did a couple weeks ago. And this is some spinach we're watering in. Giant Noble, Merlot Nero, and Bloomdale's Long-Standing, I believe. And we also got some new radishes going in over here, the purple plum. Get out of shadow. Purple plum and the white hellstone. Let me give this bed a little bit of attention. Got a couple of kale coming in right here. All right, and got some collard greens, some more Georgia Southern collard greens right here. That's what the tall Utah celery is right there. Those little bitty guys. Get those collard green seeds in and we'll be through. All right, so went ahead and planted some Brassica seedlings. Then I went ahead and succession sowed a number of other plants. Finally, I got some garlic, some more garlic cloves in the ground. You need to get them in as soon as you can so they overwinter. and there'll be bigger bulbs come next spring, late spring, depending upon how they develop in the temperature and environment and all that. Nevertheless, we'll overwinter them. They'll develop over the winter, and they'll be nice and big come next spring when we go to harvest. Now we watered them all in. I'm also going to go ahead and do a little very weak strength organic liquid fertilizer. It's basically a real low dosage of seaweed and fish fertilizer. So I'm going to do that here in a little bit. We've got Halloween coming up. Time's running up against me. So we'll go ahead and I'll do that here in a little bit. Make sure though when you water them in, make sure you keep them moist every day. If you wait a day and let them dry out, there's a good chance if you let them out for a couple days without watering the seeds, they have a tendency to dry out. If they dry out completely, there's a good chance you may not be able to get them to germinate. So keep them moist. You can also go to the extreme like Hurricane Ida did with my stuff, because I had Ida, I had a tropical storm and another system come through, and like my garden was wet for 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. There can be other extremes, but keep them moist and your seeds should have a pretty good chance of germinating and doing well for you. Hey, thanks for joining me at Louisiana Simple Living In today. I went through the process of going ahead and planting all my Brassica seedlings, did some succession planting, and went ahead and planted some more garlic. So the fall weather's upon us now, although, I mean, look at this, I'm sweating my behind off in good old South Louisiana. But get everything in the garden, get your fall garden planted, ready to go. You know, so gardening's a joy and a pastime that I like to do, and I want to share that knowledge with you guys. Back last spring, I talked about wanting to get 1,000 of you viewers out there to go ahead and plant a brand new spring backyard garden, and I challenge you for fall and then for next spring as well. Let me know if you're thinking about actually doing your first garden. It's pretty cool, pretty exciting, and very, very satisfying when you start harvesting some of the vegetables and produce. It's really a pretty cool thing. So I strongly encourage you to try it if you're thinking about it. So again, as you can see in Louisiana, we've kind of looked around, all around the garden. I mean, I got stuff growing like crazy. It's not the spring and the summer, it's late summer, early fall. And you can be very successful in Zone 9A, and in Louisiana, South Louisiana especially in general. So get out in your backyard and let's grow something. Look, if you liked the video, if you haven't subscribed as yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Like that video. And feel free to share it. There's probably friends of yours who could use this information as well. Feel free to share it. As I always say, make memories now rather than later. Make memories with your family and with your friends. And as always, I will see you on the next video.